The moment they drifted apart, Freen and Becky's untold goodbye. Not every love story ends with a kiss. Some end in silence, in the quiet distance between two souls who once shared everything. For years, Freen Sorocha and Becky Armstrong were inseparable, two names that fans couldn't say without the other. But lately something feels different. The laughter isn't as loud. The smiles don't linger as long. And fans can't help but ask, what happened to Freen Becky? Once the perfect duo. When Gap, the series first aired, Freen and Becky didn't just play characters, they created a phenomenon. Their chemistry was electric, their bond authentic. From behind-the-scenes giggles to heartfelt interviews, it seemed like they shared something rare. A friendship, maybe even a love, that blurred the line between fiction and reality. Fans described them as soulmates who found each other on set. They finished each other's sentences, exchanged inside jokes on stage, and had that unspoken connection only best friends, or something more, could share. They were light. They were laughter. They were love made visible. Something changed. The shift no one wanted to see. Then, somewhere along the way, things started to feel different. No big fight, no dramatic announcement, just distance. Fewer joint appearances. Separate interviews. Colder interactions that once overflowed with warmth. Fans noticed the shift before anyone admitted it. Edits began circulating. Look how they used to look at each other. Clips from fan meets compared side by side. 2022 versus 2025. Showing how bright smiles slowly turned to polite nods. One fan wrote tearfully, "They were the reason I believed in love. Watching them drift apart feels like losing something personal." Silence, the most painful answer. Neither Freen nor Becky has spoken openly about what really happened. No official statement, no denial, just silence. But sometimes silence is the loudest kind of heartbreak. In one recent interview, when asked about Becky, Freen paused, smiled faintly and said, "We both have our paths, but I'll always wish her happiness." That one line, soft, sincere and bittersweet, shattered the internet. It wasn't anger. It wasn't blame. It was something sadder, acceptance. Fans in mourning. It feels like a breakup we didn't expect. The fandom, once filled with edits of laughter and hugs, turned into a space of reflection. Hashtags like #WeMissFreenBecky and #BringBackFreenBecky trended across X and TikTok. Some fans blamed management decisions. Others said it was fame and pressure. But many agreed on one thing. The love, whatever form it took, was real. They saw it in every behind-the-scenes glance, in every moment of genuine affection that couldn't be scripted. A fan post summed it up perfectly. "They didn't break up in front of us. They just stopped meeting eyes." And that hurt more. Separate lives, same sky. As new projects rolled in, both stars began to walk their own roads. Becky started taking international appearances. Freen began working on her own productions. It wasn't betrayal, it was growth. But for fans, it felt like the end of an era. They still follow each other on social media, still occasionally like each other's posts. But gone are the days of shared selfies and playful live streams. Now their connection lives quietly, in old clips, nostalgic edits, and the hearts of millions who refuse to forget. The last glance. Was it a goodbye? At a recent public event, Freen and Becky crossed paths again. The crowd held its breath. Cameras flashed. And for just a few seconds they looked at each other, really looked. Freen smiled softly. Becky nodded. No words, no hug, no scripted gesture. Just a shared look that seemed to say everything. "Thank you for the memories." Fans replayed that moment endlessly. It wasn't the beginning of something new. It was the gentle closure of something beautiful. What remains? Maybe they didn't drift apart out of anger. Maybe it was time, maturity, or the weight of fame that made them choose distance over pressure. But if you watch closely, in every old video, every heartfelt quote, every quiet smile, their story still lingers. Because love doesn't always end with goodbye. Sometimes it just transforms into gratitude. Once in a lifetime, two people meet and change each other forever. Even if they walk separate paths. a part of them always remains intertwined. And that's the story of Freen and Becky. A love that was never defined, never confirmed, but always felt. Final thoughts. The moment they drifted apart isn't about loss. It's about two souls who met at the right time, created something unforgettable, and then gracefully let go. Their story reminds us that even when people part ways, what they shared doesn't disappear. It becomes history, memory, and emotion that lives on forever. So maybe, in another time, another world, their eyes will meet again.